Hi everyone. So what I'm going to show you now is how to do an elevation in Smart Draw. So what you're going to do is go to your home page. You're going to click on My Documents. Once you click on My Documents, you're going to scroll on the left side and you're going to click on Floor Plans Residential. Once you're on Floor Plans Residential, you're going to click on Living Rooms. And then in living room, scroll past where the floor plans are and then click on blank living room elevation. And just to give you a reference, here are some different living room elevations that were created within the program. So you'll click on the elevation. And then what the first thing that you have to do is you have to set up your elevation wall. So if we are doing, so I have Carissa and I'm blanking on who else I have. Sorry. I have Carissa and Olivia. Okay, so Carissa and Olivia sent me their floor plans. So what I'm going to do is show the wall on how to do it with their floor plan. So that'll help guide you guys. So for example, this is Carissa's, I believe. So what I'm gonna do is first do the wall with the opening. So my 8 foot is going to stay because that's the height. And then I need to change my width to 13 feet 7 inches. And you get that measurement from right here where it says 13 feet 7 inches. So now, because I'm working off of their snapshot or JPEG, I need to refer back to my floor plan actually to get the measurements. So I'm just going to open up one of my versions of the floor plans. This is what you'll do as well. You're going to toggle back and forth basically between the elevation and the floor plan because you have to keep referring back to what your measurements are. So if I'm doing this wall, which is what I'm doing, this would be 13 feet 7 inches. So on Carissa's, I would click this to now see this is 6 feet 3 inches. So I'm going to write down 6 feet 3 inches so that I remember it. And then we need to know how far it is from the corner. So in this particular case, it's 3 feet 10 inches because we have that measurement right there. So what you're going to need to do is come back to your elevation where we just created the measurement of 13 feet 7 inches. You're going to go into your symbols. Now, if you're missing any symbols, you're just going to click these 3 lines here, and then that's how you get more symbols. So you would just click more symbols, and then you will go to your elevations, and then you can see the different elevations that are here. So if you needed doors and windows or lighting is here. So if you wanted to add in lighting for your elevation, you would just say add library. And you should definitely be working with the living room and dining room elevation because that's where a lot of your images are going to come from. And then in products, you have cans. I just want to see what else we have. Okay, so I'm going to click on lighting because I know I want to add that. And then my lighting will add over here and then I can close it. So now I have my lighting there that I can add in, and then I'm going to scroll down to doors, and I'm just going to pull out this box, the rectangle, because this is what I'm going to use as my guide because there's no measure tool like we have on the floor plan. So if you were measuring in the floor plan, you would click the measure distance, and then you would click and drag, and then you just have to make sure you move it off the wall so that you could see the number. So once you get that measurement, you would then put in on the floor plan 3 feet 10 inches. So this is 3 feet 10 inches. And then we need our opening. So what I can actually do is just copy and paste. It's not letting me copy and paste for some reason, unless it's going behind. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out another one because for whatever reason, it's not letting me copy and paste. So I'm pulling out my door and I'm going to now create the 6-foot 3-inch opening. So you can just move it over and then adjust your numbers up at the top. So this is 6 feet 3 inches. And then everything should be placed at the bottom horizontal line. So nothing should be floating. So I'm just going to shift this over. So now I have my opening. Now, if you want to have a header, which some rooms have, then you can have a header, or you can have it straight up with the flush with the ceiling, because this would be a ceiling line. So now I've created my opening, and this is just my guideline. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way, and there's a bookcase here. So I don't know, in your case, you would go to your floor plan, you would measure what your bookcase size is. So mine is 3 feet 10 inches. Chris's looks a little bit smaller. So what I would do is go and get a bookcase out. And I'm going to get the bookcases or the shelves that are just white, if they're here. There's some that are filled in. Yeah, I'm just going to use the shelf unit. So this is a shelf unit. So I'm just going to, so now what you'll need to do is, depending on the measurements of your bookcase, you'll go into a program like West Elm or Crate and Barrel, and you'll go, I can show you that. So you'll go to, say, West Elm, and you will just type in bookcase, and then you'll get the measurement of a bookcase. So once it comes up, so say for example, if this was my bookcase, what you'll need is the width and the height and the depth. But for the elevation, you'll just need the width and the height. So then you'll come down to dimensions. This happens to be 71 inches, almost 72 inches. And then that's the height, so 72 inches. And then the width of this is 15 feet 4 inches, because this is the narrow one. So actually, if I want the 33-inch width, so it says right here, 33 inches wide, and then 72 inches I'll put, just to make it easier. So I'll go back and to my elevation, and I'll make this 72 inches. So I'll have to type here 72 inches, which is 6 feet. And then I'm just going to make it look, because Carissa's, let me see, this 33 inches is a little bit wider. So we'll make this a little bit narrower, just because Chris's is a little bit narrower. But you would measure from the side of the wall over for the placement, and then you would check what your size is. Go to a site if you don't know the size. Then you're always going to start from the back wall. So I started with my back wall, then I put my opening, then I put my bookcase. Now we're working from the middle of the room facing this wall. So it's as if we were standing in the middle of this coffee table facing the wall. So the next thing that we're going to do is put our sofa in and our 2 side tables. So we'll go to sofas, which should be here. Yep. So and there's limited resources on the sofas, so I'll show you how to tweak some things. So I'm just pulling out my sofa. Again, everything is on the flush floor level. So this sofa, I'm just eyeballing this, but you would measure out what your actual sofa measurements are. So I see that it's kind of in the doorway, and then here it's a little bit past the doorway. So I'm going to just put it in the doorway and past the doorway. I'm just going to place it like that. Carissa would have to do her own measurements based on what's in her floor plan. Okay, and then she has 2 side tables here. So I'm going to get out, I'm going to get out this end table. And then again, you're going to check whatever your measurements are. So that looks like it's a narrow side table. And typically the side table is about the same height as the arm of the sofa, or a little bit lower. So I'm going to adjust that. And then I just want to make sure, so this is probably a little bit big, because remember we need to have 3 feet traffic pattern on the side here. So Carissa, you might need to adjust this actually. So I'm just going to check how much space we have. So we have less than 3 feet. So we might want to put a narrow drink table over here and remove this table. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm showing you guys how to create the floor plan, the elevation. So then the next thing I'm going to do is copy and paste, which it's not letting me copy. So copy and then paste. And then I'm going to move it. And now I have my bookcase, my sofa with my 2 side tables. And then I'm going to put in the coffee table. Now, the purpose of the elevation is to show items on at least one wall. So I'm probably not going to show the side of this chair blocking that sofa, because that kind of defeats the purpose of getting the visual of what this wall looks like. So for this purpose, I'm going to just do up to the coffee table. I'm not going to do this seating arrangement. However, I will do this wall with the windows and show you how I would do the 2 chairs and the side of the sofa with the side of the table. So that will come. So next I'm going to take a coffee table and pull that out. And then again, you need to check all the sizes in your floor plan to know how big to make your coffee table. You also need to check what's the distance from the edge wall over to the coffee table. And that's how you know where you're going to place it. And that would be what this elevation would look like. I can then get creative and I can add maybe a gallery wall with photos on this blank wall because it has nothing going on. So maybe I just add some pictures, or maybe I add a mirror here, or maybe there's sconces, whatever you want to add, you can. Again, this is just my measure tool. So that would be the one wall. Now, if we're looking at Olivia's wall, where she has the opening, I'm going to show you also that. So now the other thing I want to say is you can group items. So if you select the opening with the base wall and then go to design and say group and then group objects, you'll then have to send that to the back. And then what you can do is now copy and paste that so that you can create, and I'm going to do a second elevation and I'm going to do it based off of Olivia's. So for Olivia's elevation of this wall, which is right here on the side, she has she has like a little ottoman. So for the ottoman type situation, or it might be a bed, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm going to pull out the sofa with no arms. And I'm going to put that into the corner. And I'm just eyeballing. Again, you need to take your measurements from your floor plan, but I don't have those. So I'm just going by what I see visually. So I'm not sure exactly what this is. I don't remember, but I just put this in as if it's an ottoman or a bench or something like that. Then she has next her sofa. So how you're going to show a sectional is you're going to pull out the regular sofa and make it the length that it looks. You're actually going to take your measurement, but I'm just eyeballing this. And then we're going to take the side of the sofa because we're basically just showing, we're actually standing back here, but that's okay because we're going to show the side of the sofa flat. So this is the side of the sofa. This is the front of the sofa. So that's how your sectional would look in your elevation. Then she's got like an L-shaped C table. So we're gonna grab for the C table. Again, you kind of have to work with what is in here. And if you just pull out a shelf, you can kind of just fake that. So I'm just gonna pull out. If you make it bigger, it makes it easier. So you could see I'm just pulling out basically a line, and then I'll copy and paste that and rotate it. And then again, you'll need to get your measurements. You could get something thicker than this, but I'm just for the purpose of showing you how to do this. You can get like I'm kind of just showing the C table. So it would normally slide underneath the sofa. So I would probably send this to the back, which it goes all the way to the back. So then I need to send this to the back. And then you could kind of see that it's sliding underneath the sofa and then over the arm. So that's how I would just show the C table. Again, I just pulled out, just moving this over a little bit. I pulled out the shelf bar, but there are other shelves that you could pull out to use. You could also pull out what we're using for the door and create it that way, but then you'll have the lines, it won't be solid. So just do the best that you can with the tools that you have. Okay, so once we have our sectional, then we need our coffee table. So I'm just going to copy and paste the coffee table from the floor plan that I did for Carissa's piece, and this is rectangle. So I'm just going to work off of what I'm seeing to adjust the size. And again, we want to have 18 inches on the side here. So you'll take your measurements. But basically, this is what that wall, we don't have plants. Again, you can put pictures. Maybe you want to have a mirror. You could even have like a floor length mirror. So maybe you want to have a floor length mirror in this corner. If there's a decorative one, you could pull that out. You could pull out a floor lamp also from here. And there's pendant lights. All right, so I'm not seeing, there's windows, but I'm not seeing a mirror. So if you want to search, you could just type in mirror. And then you can pull out, so this is a mirror. So I'll delete this, and then I'll put this as a floor length mirror. Again, go to a site like West Elm or Crate and Barrel, CB2, get some measurements. But this would be just as if I had a floor length mirror on this wall instead of the plants, because I don't have plants to show you. Okay, so that gives you two elevations based off of the elevation that Carissa and Olivia had. So I'm going to stop here for this wall, and then I'll do a second video for the window wall. Oops. I need to stop recording. Sorry, I messed up I need to stop the recording. Okay, here we go.